I found this poor little guy sitting at a thrift store all alone in the corner. It was marked for 80 bucks, so I took it home. It's in pretty rough shape and the drawers are a mess, but I have a fun idea for this one, so let's get to it. I found this guy on a recent trip to the thrift store. I was on a hunt for a new dining room table, which I'll show you guys in the next few weeks, but this dresser had just came in and I was getting ready to hit the showroom floor, so I went and put dibs on it before anybody else could grab it. This one doesn't have a maker's mark on it, so I have no idea the time frame of this guy or who it's made by. It's in pretty decent shape. It's a little rough on the top and definitely has a failing finish and some pretty deep scratches that I'm going to need to address. The drawers are just a bit sticky and they'll definitely need a good clean, but this is nothing that I can't fix and this will be a fun flip. This piece is a mess inside and a lot of the drawers have broken glides, so I'm going to take this all apart first before we clean it out. Now that I've got this all taken apart, I'm going to go ahead and take all this hardware off. I really like these pulls that are on the small drawers, but these seem really heavy to me. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't find anything I really like, but I don't think these are going to be the ones I end up keeping. So I'm going to take these off. I'm going to fill the hardware holes just in case and be on the lookout for some pulls on Amazon or something maybe. Let me know in the comments if you would have kept these or if you think they're too heavy for this project too. Today I have a special surprise for you. As you may have seen on a previous video where I cleaned out my very messy garage, we received a metal shed from our sponsor Patio Well, and today I'm thrilled to announce that I'm going to be giving away a Patio Well shed to one of my lucky viewers. In order to be eligible for this giveaway, I need you to do two quick things. Leave me a comment below on my video about what you'd use your new shed for, and then fill out a very quick questionnaire that I've linked in the description box below. That'll get you entered into the drawing. It'll only take you a few minutes. Once you've got it filled out, you'll be entered and one lucky winner will receive a brand new shed. So what are you waiting for? Fill out the questionnaire and you could be my lucky winner this week. Now that I've assessed most of my damage and gotten this dresser taken apart, it's time for a really good clean. I'll use some simple green degreaser to remove any dirt or furniture polish that has been left along the way. I've been using my heavy-duty scrub brush on a lot of my dirty dressers lately. This just helps me get into all that detail work and to make sure that it's really, really clean. I'll link this guy below in the video description, and if you're interested, I purchased it on Amazon. I let the drawers sit in the sun to dry, and now I'll fill in the old hardware holes with some wood fill. Took a quick break while my wood fill was drying, and now I'm ready to move on to the next step. I'm I'm going to do a scuff sand on the entire body of this dresser using my Surf Prep sander and a 180 grit sanding pad. This is not real wood. This is a factory finish on top of some particle board MDF. So I'm not ruining anything by what we're going to do to this project today. And then my Surf Prep sander with the squishy foam abrasive is going to go into the detailed edges of those drawers really well. While I was sanding everything down, I noticed some damage on the side of this dresser, so I'm going to stop for a second and get out some Bondo and just repair this part. Bondo is a two-part epoxy system. You mix up this tan part with a little bit of this blue stuff that's in this little tube, mix it together well, and then apply it. It sets really quickly, so you have to move fairly fast when using this, and it is very stinky, so I always recommend mixing this in a well-ventilated area. While my Bondo dries, I'll sand down the drawer fronts and any leftover wood fill from my hardware holes.
You had me at a low, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody else, I got you. And you got me too. You can ride out the blue. I wanna do what you want to. We can leave and run away someday, someday. I've been saving.
Now that I'm done sanding everything, I'll wipe back all the dust with some warm water before I can start to paint.
Yeah, I need it. Don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. Yeah, so call me anytime that you need a favor. Call me anytime I can come and sit in you.
I don't want to prime this. I just really don't. I want to paint this today. I don't want to have to prime it. But there's just way too much like textured, feels like wood grain, but it's not wood grain on the top that I need to fill these gaps a little bit. This is not going to bleed through. I don't have to worry about that issue. It's just once I put paint on this, I feel like all this texture is going to show. And it would be better off if I just primed it first. My gut is telling me to prime it. I'm gonna have to prime it. Today I'm gonna use Sherwin-Williams shellac primer. You can find all of the stuff I use in this video down in the description. You can also find an Amazon wish list, which has all my everyday things that I use to flip furniture, so that's been helpful to people. I also have a short Amazon list that if you want to get into furniture flipping, there are things I recommend off that list to get you started. Just some basics to get you on your way, so that's a good list to look at also. But I'll also link all the products that I use today down in that description below. The reason that I'm only using the primer on the top is because the sides of this dresser didn't have that failing finish, so I didn't really run into that wood grain look until I started sanding down bits of the top of this. This is a really long dresser, and since there's nothing that's decorative on the top of it to draw your eye away from those easily seen wood grain patterns, that's why I'm priming this, is to sort of fill in some of that wood grain, so that's not the only thing you see when you look at this dresser. Okay, now that I put the primer on, I'll show you what I was concerned about. I knew it was going to do this. Let's see if you can see it. See those wood striations, fake wood striations, that would have come through my paint. So I'll do one more coat of primer to sort of fill that up, and then I should be able to paint on top of it and it'll be just fine. My second coat of primer has dried. I'm using my Surf Prep sander just to knock back any bits and bumps that the primer can may have left behind, so it gives me a nice smooth finish when I apply my paint.
What we do is what we do. I can take you anywhere, somewhere. We won't be scared.
For this week's flip, I'm using the color Norris Lake by Lily Moon Paint. I chose that color because it is a beautiful rich emerald green, and greens in any size, shape, or form are hot sellers right now in my Dallas market. I rarely flip pieces for myself. I do all of this as my job, and so I have to stay on top of what's really trending for my area, and this color totally fits in that description. I'll add my paint into my gravity-fed HVLP spray gun. I add a little bit of water once this is done straining. I want it to look like the consistency of thinner ranch dressing. It's the best way I can describe it, like thin ranch dressing. So I hope that helps you all who have asked me if or not I water down paint. Regardless of what kind of paint it is, I need it to look like ranch dressing. I hope that totally makes sense. I use my spray gun to paint all of my pieces, and don't let this intimidate you. When I started out, I used a brush all of the time. The reason I switched to a spray gun and a compressor is because when my husband and I started this business after he lost his job due to COVID, we had to flip 4 or 5 pieces every single week just to keep our bills paid and to keep food on the table. So quickness was what we were aiming for. We had so many pieces that we had to turn out every week that brushing just took a little too much time. But you can easily do any of the things I'm showing you today with simple tools like a basic orbital sander, a paintbrush, and you can hand paint on any product that I've applied today. Wrapping the drawers is easily my least favorite chore out of all of this. So I found an easier way to do that. I get 2-inch tape from Sherwin-Williams, so it's nice and thick. I put it on the sides, and then for the top, I'll use my pizza box trick so I don't have any overspray into my drawers. With my first coat of paint drying, I'm moving on to the handles. I'm going to use some Krylon Gold Leaf spray paint to freshen these up. This dresser required 2 coats of paint for full coverage. Moment of truth, I got so excited about painting this dresser that I forgot about all the drawer fixes that needed to be done. So I replaced a bunch of these plastic glides and secured them with my staple gun. And I found a few leftover drawer rails that I cut down to size and attached with some wood glue and some clamps. Now that my paint and my hardware is dry, it's time to start putting it all back together. I found some handles on Amazon to give this a more updated look. I'll measure my drawers and use my hardware template to make sure that the holes are perfect before I make my pilot holes. And one last reminder before our before and after for this video, I would love to give away that patio well shed to one of my lucky viewers, so be sure to leave me a comment below, fill out their very quick questionnaire in the description box so you can be entered into the drawing. I'll pick the winner in 2 weeks from this air date. Good luck! Just a quick reminder of where we started. This dresser had definitely seen better days. And wow, what a transformation. This dresser looks completely different from its previous dull and worn out state. The new coat of paint gave it a fresh look and a modern feel, while the cleaned and polished hardware adds just a touch of elegance. Let's do a quick product breakdown. I paid $80 for this dresser, $25 for the paint, $8 for the primer, and $12 for the new hardware. Let's call it $30 in miscellaneous between the drawer glides, the sandpaper, the Bondo, the little bits and pieces that I had to use that I already had on hand, putting me out of pocket at about $155 total. I'll list this dresser for between $700 and $650 in my market, hopefully leaving me with a profit of around $540 at the end of the day. With a little creativity and some elbow grease, you too can transform an old and tired piece of furniture into something beautiful. And I hope that I've given you just a little bit of inspiration today to do so. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a flip. And I'll see you next time on Lemons to Lemonade Furniture.